Hi, welcome to tonight's show. We got some sad news for you tonight. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes. Before we get started, my name is Patrick Jones. I'm the president of Chicago A.B.A.T.E. I don't know which number president I am, so let's just get this damn thing rolling. Tonight, we're doing a tribute to Diamond Jim Viverito, who passed away this past weekend. You can give us a call, 312-738-1060. Share your memories. I'm going to share a few of mine with you, and some of them are pretty damn funny. So stay tuned for that. Before we get started, a couple of things I want to talk to you about is our chili party coming up in February. If you haven't been to it, you got to come to it. We have chili contest, jalapeno eating contest, and this year, I have 6 of the A.B.A.T.E One Chip Challenge chips, and I think I'm going to give a prize for somebody who can eat one of those chips and wait 5 minutes without drinking anything. So stay tuned for that. There is going to be a prize for that, though. So if you think you can take the heat, give us a call, and we'll put you to the test. Anyways, our chili party is February 8th, 2020, 4 to 10 p.m. at the River Park Moose Lodge in lovely River Grove. Be there. Bring a pot of chili if you want to get in for free. Bring kids. Kids are welcome. It's a kid-friendly place, kid-friendly atmosphere. It's a Saturday. We don't care if there's football. We don't care if there's baseball, basketball. We do care if there's hockey, obviously. You know, it's almost like hockey. So come on down for that. Also, mark your calendars for our 34th annual Spring Fling. That's going to be June 6th at beautiful A.B.A.T.E Woods in the Forest Preserves that are charging us a hell of a lot of money to do it all of a sudden. Used to be $90, now it's $600. Come on out, we need your support. That's June 6th, mark that down in your calendars. Also, coming up, I'm going to tell you about everything we're doing. So, coming up, our awareness run, always the last Sunday in April. Be prepared to be there, rain or shine, snow or shine. We'll have a snowball fight just like we did last year. Come on out. That's April 26th. The last Sunday in April is always our awareness run. Like I said, rain, snow, or shine. Also, our next meeting is next Monday, December 18th. And at that time, we'll be doing our elections. I understand we have nobody running against anybody, really. And Cookie, a good friend of mine, a good brother, has stepped up and said that he would like to do the membership. So we're going to see if he's got what it takes to fill some big shoes. He's got to fill Diane's shoes, and he's going to look pretty funny in those. But he likes women's clothes and women's shoes, from what I understand. He's got to fill Road Dog's shoes, and that's a big pair of shoes to fill. Road Dog, we do miss you. Right now, he's probably aggravating the crap out of Jim, I bet. Let's see, Steve Lynch, he did it for a while. In fact, one time we went and we did Taft High School. I was with Steve Lynch, and they didn't tell us we were doing the entire auditorium. You could fit a lot of kids in Taft High School's auditorium. We walked out on stage. There had to be 500 kids standing there, so Steve didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, so I said, tonight it's Steve's birthday. Let's sing happy birthday to Steve. So all the kids sang happy birthday. It broke the ice, and then we separated to the different rooms. We did a whole bunch of presentations that day. Great day. So last week, I told you we did the 42nd annual Toys for Tots motorcycle parade. Chicago Toys for Tots motorcycle parade. Reportedly, 40,000 bikes. So hopefully, a lot of kids got toys. They're still collecting toys. It's not over. The run is over. The toy run's over. Collecting the toys is not over. Toys for Tots is still collecting toys all year round. Past Christmas, if it's December 26th or 27th, they're still taking toys for next year. And believe it or not, toys do get delivered late. Santa can never be on time. He's got a lot of places to go. So, with that, I'm going to bring you to the topic of this show. And we're waiting for you to call in at 312-738-1060. Good friend and brother, Jim Viverito, passed away this past weekend. I'm going to throw this up here. Jim, in that the first photo on your left, should be on your left, was one of the shows. Jim asked me one day about 15, 18 years ago if I would come down and do the TV show with him. And I said, well, got nothing to do. I don't know. I did the training in late 80s, early 90s. I said, I'll give it a try. So he came down. I did the show with him. I stared on the screen for about maybe 5 or 6 minutes before I knew what to say. And next thing you know, we were doing the show. He calls me next week. He said, I've got to be somewhere, so I can't go do the show. You need to go down there. And I came down, didn't know what I was doing, and I think I dragged Junior with me. Junior's on the phones tonight because Oscar's busy. I dragged Junior with me, and I did the show. And he never came back, Jim, except for a visit once in a while, to co-host or be a guest on the show. So, Jim, thank you for suckering me into that one. Jim was not only a motorcycle rider, he was a motorcycle rights advocate. He was a racer. He raced, British Motorcycle Collector. He raced, I think, flat track. I'm not sure, but he'd always be down in Peoria for the TTs. He'd be all over the place. One day he says, hey, let's go for a ride. I had my 66 Triumph, and this is not long ago. We have a caller, so we're going to take a call. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, this is Rick. Pat, how are you today?
Rick Silva.
Rick Silva, Llama Vice President.
Llama Chicago Headquarters VP. Rick,
yes.
Thanks for calling, and how can I help you tonight, brother?
Well, I would like to, our condolences from the Llama chapter in Chicago, the original chapter. We'd like to send our condolences to Jim DeVito's family. He's one of the persons that was very instrumental as far as motorcycle rights, that I felt he was always worried, asking the right questions, and when we had our meetings at the VFW, he would ask to make sure you ask about this, ask about that, whatever happened to this and that, and he's very involved with that stuff. So, I mean, him, Jim Bowes, who passed away.
Oh, Mike Kerr, yeah.
Mike, they really, opened my eyes to what happens in Illinois as far as legislation and everything else on the behalf of the motorcyclists. So, he's going to be missed by us and many people in the state, Yeah,
it's like I tell everybody, he was a pain in the ass, but he was our pain in the ass. And we fought, we argued all the time, but we always got along. And I'm going to tell you something about Rick, the person that's on the phone right now. Rick came to an A.B.A.T.E meeting and never left. This is the honest truth. He came to an A.B.A.T.E meeting, found out what was going on there, and he got involved. And to this day, Rick, thank you. You're still involved. You're one of our board members and very active in Llama. How many miles did you put last year, Rick?
Oh, I didn't put that many on there, but in the past, I've usually put 10 to 15,000 a year. My poor bike is just dying already.
And your lady also? Your lady put some miles?
Rides. Oh, yeah, she always puts miles on her bike. She travels back and forth to the city from time to time in the summertime. And she was able to do 10,000 miles in 1 year at one time,
Wow. It's a lot of miles.
And a little Sportster. Yeah.
Well, Rick, you know what? Thank you for calling. If you have any final comments, go ahead and make them, and then we're going to move along.
Well, again, I'd like to wish, extend my condolences to the family of Jim DeVito, and again, he'll be greatly missed.
Thank you, Rick. Have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I'm here. This is John Ravillo. Yes.
Go ahead.
This is John Ravillo, president of Chicago Norton Owners Club.
Hey, John, how are you? Pat Jones.
Yeah, very good. Nice to talk to you, my friend. I just wanted to wish Jim's, all of his family and friends and everybody that knew him, our condolences from not only my club, but myself, my wife, my family. And there's so much to say, I don't know where to start. Jim was a very, very, very enthusiastic individual. He has stayed very active as a, fighting for our rights with the AMA and all these years. And he's very active with the antique motorcycles and my club and the shows that we did. He's a huge loss to the motorcycling community.
Well, you don't have to tell me that. Come on, tell us a good, funny story about him.
Well, a funny story I can tell you is when I first met him, he walked into my Norton Club meeting about 15 years ago one night. And at that time, I was road racing an antique Norton in Arma. And given a few minutes to let him get on the floor and talk and introduce himself to everybody, he went on to explain to everybody how road racers were pussies. Only guys with a steel shoe could ride. So he's going on and on and on and on, and some of the guys in the room that knew me very well, knowing I've been racing all my life, on the road and off, were rolling their eyes going, oh boy. And I just told him, I said, buddy, you're writing checks, your butt can't cash.
Yeah, he was like
I said,
that.
I ride better off-road than on-road.
Yeah.
I'm good on pavement.
Yeah, he was
Anyway.
something else. He brought me to Norton
guy.
Owners Club. I was a member for a while. In fact, John Schroeder,
Yeah.
he fixed my 66 for me. It brought it back from the dead. And I mean, it was dead. Jim said, come with me. You guys were meeting
Very
at
cool.
Phil's Pizza over on Lake Street, I think it was.
Yeah.
So he brought me over and he goes, see this little guy? He's not old, but he looks like he's old.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to fix your bike. I said, all right, whatever. So, yeah, I went over to John's garage and
Mm-hmm.
half a kick. My bike is,
Yep.
that 66 I have is a half a kick starter. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to
Well,
be
I
missed
just
by
wanted to
more
say
than
hey
us,
and
believe it
call
or
in.
not.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. I just wanted to be part of this, and I'm glad I was able to find this show on my channel. I'm out in Wheaton. I had to
Yeah.
look into Uverse. I had to call a phone number to find out how to pull it up.
Well, we stream live on the internet at www.cantv.org/live.
Okay.
So you can watch
Well,
it on
I
your
know
phone,
that
on your
now.
computers. You can watch it every Tuesday night.
Gotcha.
So I appreciate the call. I'm
young
going to
man.
make sure that Marilyn gets a copy of this show tonight,
Good.
and we'll get it
Good.
over to her. And I'll most likely see you tomorrow night.
You got it. Thank you all for everything you're doing.
Thanks for calling in.
All right, bud. Bye-bye.
So more memories about Jim. One day he said, hey, I know you need some parts. I'm going to be riding up to Maury's. You want to go with? And I said, yeah. So he had I think it was a BSA. He met me over by my garage. I went to get on my Super Glide to go with him. He goes, what about the 66? Said, yeah, well, it'll start. I had it fixed at Maury's up in Richmond. So we rode up there. We took all these side roads, all these back roads to get up there. We stopped at the burger place. I forget the name of it. They used to have the naked volleyball at night, but it was still daytime, so they didn't have naked volleyball. And we rode up there. We got the parts we needed. We rode back. My ass was sore for 2 days riding that damn bike. But that thing would get up and go, man. It was unbelievable how fast that bike was and what a great ride it was. A great time. So I MF'd them for like a week after that. Told them next time we jump on the Harleys and we go. A week later, we got a call that Fox wanted to do a story on motorcycles, motorcycle rights, and they asked if we could have some women riders with us for the interview. We met out in front of Jim's house, and it was me, Jim, I can't remember who else. It might have been Road Dogg, and 2 ladies came out, and they wanted us to go around the block. So we went around the block. They videotaped us coming up the block. Then they asked us to park. They videotaped us parking. And then they asked one of the girls to go around the block. As soon as she took off, she spilled right in front of the cameras. So Jim's like, oh, expletive. So he come back. We're sitting there, and they're doing an interview with Jim, and they're asking me questions. I forget what office I was at the time, but Jim, I don't remember. Jim was the president at the time. So they got all these sound bites, and they had 40 minutes of video. So they asked us if we'd start our bikes and then take off. They wanted to tape us pulling away. Well, he wanted me to kickstart my bike. And if you've ever kick-started a super glide, a shovel head, it's not easy, especially if you haven't done it for a while. So I kicked it, and a big puff of smoke came out of the carb. We found out later that the positive cable snapped as I went down, and the bike stretched. So everybody else took off. They ran around the block, came back. So that night, we went into Jim's garage. He fixed it. We made a cable for the bike. That night, we're watching Fox television, and they're reporting on motorcycles and people who don't use helmets. And by the way, Jim wore a helmet. I ridiculed him every time we were out asking him, what the hell are you doing with that helmet? He says, that's my right. I can wear it or I don't have to. And that's what he fought for. So we're watching, they come on. And next we're going to talk to motorcyclists about helmets. TV comes on, and the only soundbite they used was when Jim said, in a whole conversation, they took this one little blurb. It said, the difference between wearing a helmet and not wearing a helmet is an open or closed casket. My phone rang the minute they said it. It was Jim. He was so pissed off that of the 40 minutes of video that they shot of us, that's the only quote they used. And, Jim was very well versed in motorcycle rights, legal rights, and everything else. And believe it or not, for a bunch of bikers, we can stick it to the man when it comes to an interview. And I've done it on more than one occasion with the state police and the public announcements that we do, and when we take questions. And he was so pissed off that he was so articulate with everything he said, and that's the only thing they used. So, Jim, you know what? It was funny to me because you were so mad about it. Anyways, if you have a story you want to share about Jim, we're at 312-738-1060. Junior's sitting there bored on the phone because Oscar's not here. Some other stuff we do have coming up. We are not going to be doing a show on the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, so we have one show left. The 24th and the 31st, we are not doing a show. So if there's anything you want to see, anything you want us to get out for you, give us a call or come on down to the next show. Again, this show is dedicated to Jim Viverito and his memory. Tomorrow night is his wake at Cumberland Chapels on Lawrence and Cumberland from, I believe, 3:30 to 8:30. If you want to stop in, stop in. His wife, Marilyn, I'm sure she'd be happy to see all of you. I'm going to be there, and then I got to go to a dinner and run around and all kinds of other stuff, but I will be there. At the time that this was written, it had just tentative dates, but the dates are solid. It is tomorrow night at Cumberland Chapels. It's going to be from 3:30 to 8:30. There's plenty of parking. If you cannot park in the funeral home lot, you can park across the street at the bank or by the gas station that's there. There will most likely be, I think it's Harwood Heights there. They'll be out there directing traffic. They'll get you across, especially us old guys that kind of limp a little when we walk. They'll get you there. If there's anything you want to say, call us, 738-1060. Don't forget our next meeting is going to be next Wednesday night, and that's going to be our elections. Come on out. We're going to be, it's going to be probably a fast meeting because we don't have a lot to do. It's starting to wind down. The holidays are here, and people got other things they'd rather be doing. I don't blame you. There's other things I'd rather be doing, but motorcycle rights are very important to me. I remember in 2005, I believe it was, Jeff King was a president. He was going on to do other things, and I said, you know what, I'll run for president. So I ran for president, and I guess I haven't done it right yet because they won't let me go. So when I get it right, we'll elect a new president, is what I've been told. Anyways, Jim, he's probably sitting up there with Dog Killer, who argued with him constantly. Bose, who argued with everybody constantly, but he was always right. And I gotta say, out of all the guys that we argue, motorcyclists, we argue, we fight about different things. But one guy who was always right and you never knew it was Bose. Until you got home and you went, son of a bitch, he was right. Because he knew it. He sat there in front of the TV. He watched everything legislative. He was on Capitol Facts day and night. He kept up on everything. And Bose, we miss you. And Bose would call me and ask me, he goes, are you burnt out yet? Not yet. When I'm burnt out, you'll know. Because there'll be somebody else sitting here at the show. There'll be somebody else sitting at the meetings, conducting the meetings. Again, tonight, we're talking about our good friend Jim Viverito, Diamond Jim, to those of you who know him. He was a board member with the AMA for a while. I remember we got a call. He asked if we got our magazines yet because he was up for election, and we did vote for him. Like I said, Peoria TTs, he'd always invite me down. Never went down to the TTs. Just never had a hankering to go down. But did like to go down to Peoria once in a while just to see all the cool bikes. We went down one time, me, Jim, and a couple other guys, and we just went there to look at bikes. In fact, Norton Owners Club, one of the guys that called in tonight, they had a show in DuPage County somewhere. I met Jim there and lost my key on my 66. I rode the 66 out there, lost the key, sitting there. Everybody's trying their key because, believe it or not, that little key just about fits any bike. Couldn't find a key. I took a pop can, cut it open. I made a key, and one of the guys from the Chicago Norton Owners Club took it from me and asked me if he could keep it. I go, yeah, I guess. He wanted to see what I actually did. So I got back home, and on the way home I found the key, but it was crushed. So ordered a new lock from Maury's, put it on, and Junior lost the key too. Junior lost the rocker cover caps. He lost a couple of those going out riding. In the same damn area, I lost the key. So, yeah, you got to tighten those bikes up. Anyways, tomorrow night, Cumberland Chapels from 3:30 to 8. Maryland will be there. Everybody's welcome to come. Come say hi. Maybe share a story or two, share a beer, whatever you want to do. Jim, you know what? This ain't goodbye. This is, see you later, because I'm sure you're up there arguing with somebody. He'll be back. They're going to kick him out. I just know it. Whether he's up or down, he's getting kicked out. Also, don't forget to mark your calendars for April 26th. Told you about that, the awareness run. Last Sunday in April, every year, last Sunday in April. April 26, 2020, coming on pretty soon. Also, we've got the Spring Fling, that's coming on June 6th at A.B.A.T.E Woods. That's Foster and Cicero in Chicago. The next thing we got going after that, we've got the meeting next Wednesday. Come on out. You don't have to be a member to come to our meetings. We encourage anybody that wants to stop in, come on out, stop in, come say hi. Jim would go out, and there's this Chicagoland Sport Bikes. It's like a forum where all the sport bikes around Chicago, all the sport bikers meet, they talk, and they got forums about different subjects. And Jim and I joined it. I think I'm still a member there, still active. And we've had a couple of the guys down here, and Jim would go out and try to talk with the sport bike guys, and sport bike guys just didn't want to hear it. They just want to ride. So eventually, they're going to have to get involved if they want to keep their rights, because the old guys, and I say this because I never knew that Jim was 67 years old. 67 years young, that is. So I always thought he was about our age. I was talking with No Hair from the Fagawi tribe at breakfast this morning, and even he said he thought he was same age as us, but maybe that's why you were so crabby, Jim. I don't know, but I loved laughing at you. Whenever you get mad and I'd hang up on you and you call me 4 or 5 times, I thought it was funny. I was sitting there laughing. So we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. If you got any memories you want to share, give us a call tonight. Before we go, I just want to say, Maryland, if you need anything, just reach out. The motorcycle community is there, just waiting for you. And before we end the show, this is how we're going to end it tonight.